are back. Episode 14, inaugural. Cheers. Let's go,
Welcome back.
gentlemen.
We're back.
This episode, we are talking about the power of reviews.
Brought to you by Yelp.
Brought to you is not brought to you by Yelp.
Not brought to you by
No one uses Yelp. I guess we'll start it off there.
We have to.
It's kind of cavemanish.
Yeah.
I just remember when we first started the food truck, someone left a random review on Yelp and created our account for us. Left a lot of pictures. It was a whole thing. And then, I don't know, a week or two later, they started emailing us, calling us, and trying to have a conversation about having them, build out our profile for us, start running ads for them. And I got to be honest, it was a pretty annoying experience.
Yeah.
They were
annoying is a good word. And it was interesting because a couple weeks ago, we talked to another local business owner that said as soon as he started his business, some random person showed up, took photos, and created a Yelp account for them. And then 2 weeks later, they're getting all sorts of advertisement from Yelp and getting calls and emails and everything else saying, hey, you have a Yelp account. Let's get you going. And I'm pretty convinced that Yelp is sending people out.
Sending out drones.
They're sending out drones to brand new businesses, creating accounts for them, and then pushing them to market for them.
Which I think this is a lessons learned for us and like advice for people who are starting a business.
Well, right,
Get ahead of that because it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And like when we had the Yelp account created, we didn't have control over it. We had to prove that this was our business, and then we would finally be able to edit the page and like make it say exactly like who we are, what we're doing, our logo, and all of our branding.
But no one
But
knows.
and that's the same with Google. It's the same with Apple. If you're not ahead of this stuff, it's like someone else is gonna leave a review for you
And with that guy, he was
fight an uphill battle.
Obviously that guy didn't show up, and he wasn't like, hey, I work for Yelp. I'm gonna take some photos to start an account for you. He was just a random guy who showed up, and he was like, been very interested, want to take some photos, and we're like, oh, okay, this is weird. But all the photos he took were us setting up our food truck, and they were probably the most unprofessional photos. You can go back and look, check out our Yelp account. It's on there. Like the first review from when we started. We're wearing like tank tops and like hanging out, and he had us take an awkward picture like in front of it. I was like 30 pounds heavier at the time because I didn't get on the smash burger diet quite yet. We just started. But it was wild. Like this guy posted that. I don't think we even put two and two together until like 6-8 months later when we're like, that dude 100% worked for Yelp or is contracted by Yelp.
That's weird.
To start accounts.
That's a weird angle to take.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know if he worked for Yelp, but he's a very diehard Yelper, food reviewer, food critic.
I'm convinced.
He's got 16,000 accounts. Just makes them for every restaurant.
Yeah,
exactly. But
maybe he gets a kickback.
Yeah, our first. So we had a phone call with Yelp, and we won't just dog on Yelp this whole episode, but
I mean a little bit. They deserve it.
Mostly, yeah, they deserve it. But our first contact that we had with Yelp, they emailed multiple times. We're like, hey, we'll set up a call. So we're in the food truck prepping meat, getting ready to go out, and this guy called us, and he talked for like 40 minutes, and by the end of it, it was like, you can spend $20 a day advertising on Yelp, and we're gonna promote you as like one of the top burger places. And we're like, well, we move around. We're in a food truck. We're all over the place. We're not like a brick and mortar. It makes a little more sense because people can find you. And in a food truck, we're all over the place. So like, what address are you guys going to use? Do we have to upload every? We're doing two addresses a day. Lunch and dinner are completely different every day. So we're doing 10 different addresses a week when we work 5 days.
Right.
And we're like, how is that going to, like, if people go on Yelp, we're all over the place. There's no way for you guys to manage the amount of movement that we're creating in a food truck. And they're like, just trust us, give us $20 a day, and we're doing the math. And we're like,
but everything else,
expensive.
like even to put like to put our logo in the circle at the bottom of our page or at the top of our page, $1 a day or $2 a day.
Yeah.
Every little, it's like,
just nickel and diming you.
It's actually cheaper. I think it was like $30 or something.
Yeah, it might have been, but
by the end of that call, he was literally calling us stupid because we weren't going to do it. Yeah. We're like, I mean, we'll think about it, but like we'll do the math. But right now, I'm gonna be honest, it doesn't seem like something we want to do.
No.
Doesn't make any sense for what we have going on in a food truck, and I don't see any other food trucks with a Yelp account.
But everyone that comes in the restaurant that has never been there before, that is from out of town, what do? They go to Google. They don't go to our Yelp reviews. They go to Google and they find us. We're at 4.9 stars or whatever we're at right now. But Yelp is such a, I think it's obsolete app right now. Everyone just goes to it did when everyone had their own thing to do with it.
And then Google was like, oh, those guys are making a lot of money doing that.
And
why don't we just do that?
Let's do it. We'll do it better.
But we could integrate it right here. You Google it. Oh, reviews. Click it.
Well, and that's the thing. So when we opened the restaurant, of course, Yelp came back around, and they were like, "Hey, you guys are clearly still idiots because you're not advertising with us." And I talked to the guy a few times, but the last time I talked to him, I think it was the second time I talked to him, I was like, "Hey, let me talk to my business partner. Buy me some time to like do some actual research, because if there's advertising opportunity out there, I'm willing to try it."
Well, right.
But I'm gonna do the research and see if it's worth my time. So. We hung up, we scheduled a call for like the next week, and I went on several other restaurants in the city of Columbus, several, like 20 something. And they all had about 1/3 of the reviews on Yelp that they did on Google. So me being an idiot who doesn't advertise with Yelp, I was like, it seems like 3 times the people are going to Google than they are to Yelp.
Right.
And we had like 18 reviews on Yelp. We've only gotten a couple reviews on Yelp since we opened the restaurant. We've gotten almost 100 reviews on Google since we opened. And after the first conversation with the guy, I asked every single person that came in and said it was their first time. I was like, where did you hear about us?
Google.
They said Google or social media.
Word of mouth.
And I would even take one step farther, and I said, did you hear about, like, have you ever heard about us on Yelp? Have you ever looked on Yelp?
No,
and everyone's like, I don't use Yelp.
Well, right, but if you don't have a Yelp account and something pops up for Yelp, they don't even let you you got to get past that paywall just to even see anything. And
it's like, it's not user friendly, like business friendly.
No.
Because I have no control unless you pay more and more money. I can't control what photos go to the top. So we went from a food truck, which their guy, I'm assuming, allegedly, their guy came and took photos of. Those photos of our food truck show up first. There's no way to show that we're now a restaurant.
Right.
Unless I pay them more money and I update and then I can go through and like put our photos at the top. But yeah, Yelp is ridiculous.
It's good work if you can get it.
Yeah. I would love to sit in a training meeting with Yelp and they're like, listen.
I mean, I think they're just panic. I don't want to belabor the point too much. I mean, we've dogged on them enough, but I don't like them. So screw you, Yelp.
Yep.
See you.
And on that lovely note, smash you later.
Smash you later, Yelp.